Hi, good evening. Almost time to say good night actually, but I had to do this little clip for all of you because it's something that struck me very deeply today. I've been saying this that my mother's not been keeping well, and in fact, she's on the downslide. And it so happened that after a visit of three doctors, all three of them said that yes, she's going downhill. How long it'll take, we don't know. But definitely, looking at her, body is a little inflated because of there is a infection that is there. And strangely, people who have come and visited her have praised her skin because it's glowing. And I discovered, which is very strange after being in healthcare, that I discovered that the reason why the skin was glowing so much is because it was infected. It was not because it's radiant because of great skin. That was another way of body, showing us that look, it's going through trauma of sorts. So anyway, doc also said that look, you'll have to make a few changes in the diet and all that sort of stuff because she's lost so much of energy that she's not able to move her bowels. Yeah, I mean, that's the state of weakness. Eyes have been shut for over, I think, 6-7 days, not opening the eyes. There's not a word being said except for screaming in pain when she's turned around or changed. So that's the state of her as of now. It's very, very unfortunate. Looking at this, I pray that no one goes through something like this. It's better if you're mobile, you're moving around, and you're a little healthy, but not like this, stuck on the bed almost like a vegetable. It's no one should go through that. So anyway, I stopped all food. I was just giving her warm water and soup. And this attendant that's not a nurse, she's a palliative care attendant, and being very diligent about what she's doing. Though she does mess up a little bit in terms of not communicating in time with me as to what's happening. But today, what happened in the evening, it really took me to a very different dimension of thought process. So after 5 days or 6 days of no bowel movement, this evening there was not only a bowel movement, but a bowel movement with such vigor that it literally burst out in all directions, making the whole bed, the floor, everything was, dirty. And this girl comes out running saying, "Sir, this is what's happened." I said, "Okay, I'm coming." When I went there, I was like, whoa. It was sad to see. I didn't know how to process it. Not because of what I saw, not because of the excreta that came out, but I was looking at this girl, this young thing attendant, and she's going to be cleaning up this mess, and she has been changing my mother earlier also, but this kind. I said, "Wait, I'm coming." So I put on my mask, I go there, wear my gloves, and I help her clean mom. So I clean out all the dirt, we change the sheets, I clean the mess from the floor and what was there on the bed, and I'm just looking at her, and she's just going about it like cut, change this, throw this, wrap up the garbage bag and take it out and leave it outside. And then I go and get Dettol, clean the bed, sanitize the whole thing, and then take a mop again, put Dettol in the water and mop the entire floor of the room. And I was just reflecting internally that look at this girl. And similarly, how many such girls and young boys or men who are literally serving someone who they don't know, someone who they are not part of their kin, but they're just serving. Serving someone who's healthy is very different compared to someone who's very sick. And even in sickness, there are brackets. Someone who's able to communicate with full consciousness and somebody who's just not there, in states of dementia or even Alzheimer's. And she or he has to figure out what is it that the patient is trying to say. And in this case, my mother's case, there's nothing. There's only one word that comes out: pain, pain, pain. That's it. And in this tone. And here she is, complete dedication in making sure that my mother is comfortable. That's one dimension. The other dimension is that how many of us as children even realize what is it that is happening with these elderly parents of ours. I am sure there are many people out there who've been there, looked after their parents, no doubt. But I've also seen another segment of people where they can't take this, and they are so caught up in their work that they just transport their parents into an old people's home, and those poor things just linger and languish over there. It's a different thing that they go by choice, but majority of people are just put there by their kids, and to be seen once in a month, once in 6 months, and maybe once in a year, while everything else is being done by the institution. But that being aside, what I saw today is like those words came back to me. All of us go through babyhood twice in our lifetime. Once when we are born, we are so vulnerable, we are completely dependent on somebody else. Whether they are doing good, bad, right, wrong, no clue. It's being done on us. We just have to accept it. And then is this old age, where you are totally incapacitated and you've gone back to that babyhood, where again they are dependent on somebody. The question is, who are they depending on? Are they going to be depending on their kin, children, grandchildren, cousins, friends? I don't know. I can say only one thing: what's in their destiny they're going to get. I mean, I can give you an example. My father literally walked into the hospital with a cardiac arrest. He walked. He was yelled at by the doctor saying that, "Are you mad? You've got 3 blocks and you're walking into the hospital." The man died that day. But who was next to him? The chauffeur. Not the son, not the wife. The chauffeur was with him. There's no explanation. That's how it is. Call it fortunate, call it unfortunate, call it what you like, but the fact of the matter is, you don't know who is going to be by your side when your time comes. But whenever that happens, that will happen. But at this moment, what is it that we do consciously? Do we consciously give up the rat race for fame and money and come back to serve and give back to those very individuals who've given their life to put you where you are today? Yeah, forget about the good and the bad and the right and the wrong and the blame game. Keep all that aside. The most important thing is, when you were a baby, you were taken care of. Now they are babies. Who's taking care of them in the best capacity, in the best manner that one can do? You don't have to be a doctor, you don't have to be a nurse. But are you there? That itself is a very big thing. Why am I sharing all this? It's very personal, it's very individualistic, and each one has got their own interpretation and way of looking at it. But I'm sharing this because this is something which struck me. And when I saw my mother with no clothes, I was just saying, my God, life brings us back to that point where you are the most vulnerable and you can't do a damn thing about it. But our actions throughout our journey in life, the good causes that we create, will ensure that when our time comes, we will be in good hands. We will be in safe hands. We will be in comforting hands. That will only happen depending on how you have run your life. What kind of behavior, what kind of causes you've caused for others around you. And what is your definition of being compassionate, empathetic, and your ability to put aside that race that you've got yourself into for fame and money and acquisition or whatever else. Just put it aside and come back to being the simple, plain person that you're supposed to be, so that you're able to help that very same vulnerable person who happens to be a parent or a close one. It's worth thinking about. It's worth thinking about. Just as I am thinking. And that vision is still there in front of my eyes, what I saw this evening. I salute all those nurses, the attendants who work in every hospital and nursing home, who take care of patients. Hats off to them. Every day I pray that they get their share of happiness and due respect, which unfortunately doesn't happen. I leave you with this. Have a good night.